Hello, family. Enjoy this relaxing moment with Surly Tales. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. It means the world to us. Also, share this video with your friends and loved ones, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss future videos from us. Thank you as you do so. Sit back and relax as we dive into the story. Alex Windsor, the only son of King Henry and Queen Margaret, stood at the balcony of the Grand Windsor Palace. The golden hues of the sunrise illuminated his face, but there was no joy in his heart. He had grown up surrounded by opulence, yet he often found himself yearning for something his royal lifestyle could not provide: genuine love. His parents had begun pressuring him to find a wife, but Alex couldn't bear the thought of marrying someone who loved his crown rather than his heart. Late one night, while walking through the bustling streets of the city in plain clothes, he noticed a young lady. Her name was Jewel Carter. She was arranging ripe apples, oranges, and bananas on a small wooden stall by the roadside. Her laughter rang out as she exchanged greetings with a passing customer, her warmth a sharp contrast to the cold world Alex often felt trapped in. From that moment, Alex knew he needed to get closer to her. But how could he approach her without the fear of his title? That night, an idea struck him, a risky but thrilling one. He would disguise himself as a beggar. The next morning he donned an old, tattered coat, smudged some dirt on his face, and headed to Jewel's fruit stall. The city was alive with activity, vendors shouting, carts rattling, and children laughing. Alex felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he approached Jewel's stall. "Excuse me, miss," he began, lowering his voice to sound rougher. "Could you spare me some fruit? I haven't eaten all day." Jewel looked up, her deep brown eyes meeting his. She paused for a moment, assessing him. "Of course," she said with a soft smile. She handed him an apple and a small bunch of bananas. "Thank you," Alex said, his gratitude genuine. As Alex walked away, he heard murmurs from a group of young women standing nearby. "Jewel, why are you giving hard-earned fruits to a beggar?" one of them sneered. "He'll just come back for more tomorrow." Jewel shrugged, unbothered by their judgment. "If he's hungry, why shouldn't I help him?" Alex smiled to himself. Jewel's kindness was real, something he had rarely encountered in his royal circles. Jewel Carter had lived a life of hardship but never allowed it to rob her of her humanity. She had lost her father to illness when she was just 10, leaving her mother, Claire, to fend for the family. Jewel had started working at the roadside stall at 16 to help her mother make ends meet. Now at 24, she was still there, selling fruits with unwavering determination. Despite her struggles, Jewel never let bitterness creep into her heart. She believed in helping others, no matter how small the gesture. Her friends, Lisa and Chloe, often ridiculed her for her generosity. They would visit her stall, not to support her business but to gossip and tease. "Jewel, you're too soft-hearted," Lisa said one afternoon as she picked at a mango. "That beggar who came earlier, he's probably lying. Why would you waste your fruits on someone like that?" Jewel sighed, wiping her hands on her apron. "And what if he wasn't lying? It costs me nothing to help someone in need." Lisa rolled her eyes while Chloe muttered something under her breath, but Jewel stood firm in her belief. Every day for the next 2 weeks, Alex returned to Jewel's stall. Sometimes he asked for fruit, other times he simply sat nearby, watching her work and listening to her interactions with customers. He was careful not to reveal too much about himself but found ways to show his gratitude: a kind word, a small compliment. Jewel, though curious about him, never pried. She could tell he was different from the other beggars she had encountered. There was a quiet dignity about him that intrigued her. Alex sat under a tree near Jewel's stall, watching her arrange fresh fruits under the morning sun. Though his plan was progressing, he found himself grappling with doubt. How long could he keep up this act? Was it fair to deceive her? The thought gnawed at him, but each time he resolved to reveal the truth, he reminded himself of his goal: to find someone who loved him for who he was, not what he had. Jewel's gentle kindness was a balm to his soul. Unlike the noble women at court, who were adorned with jewels and masks of propriety, Jewel's heart was bare and real. Every time she handed him fruit or slipped him a coin, she did so without expectation. But it wasn't easy to maintain his disguise. One afternoon, while Alex waited by the stall, a royal guard patrolling the area gave him a long, suspicious look. His heart pounded in his chest. Did the guard recognize him? Alex quickly lowered his head and shuffled away, pretending to rummage through a trash bin until the guard left. When he returned to Jewel's stall, she noticed his pale face. "Are you all right?" she asked with concern, handing him a bottle of water. "Yes," Alex replied, forcing a smile. "Thank you. You're too kind." Jewel brushed off the compliment with a wave of her hand. "It's nothing." Her friends, however, weren't as kind. Lisa and Chloe stood nearby, snickering. "Jewel," Lisa teased, "your beggar is back. Are you sure he's not just taking advantage of you?" Jewel's cheeks flushed, but she stood firm. "I don't care what you think," she said. "If I can help someone, I will." Alex was struck by her unwavering resolve. Alex vowed to make her efforts worthwhile one day, even if it meant risking everything to reveal his true identity. Over the next month, Alex and Jewel's friendship deepened. Though Jewel was often busy tending to her stall, she always found time to chat with him. Their conversations started simply, about the weather, her fruit sales, or the bustling city life, but soon grew more personal. "I've always dreamed of something bigger," Jewel confessed one afternoon as she polished an apple. "Not just for me, but for my family. I want to give my mother a better life, to show her that all her sacrifices weren't in vain." Alex listened intently, his admiration for her growing with every word. Despite her modest circumstances, she was filled with ambition and selflessness. "What about you?" Jewel asked. "Do you have a family?" Alex hesitated. "I do," he said carefully, "but they don't understand me." Jewel nodded sympathetically. "Sometimes the people closest to us don't see us for who we really are." Their bond grew stronger, but Jewel couldn't help noticing the little things that didn't add up. Despite his ragged appearance, Alex had a refined way of speaking, and his manners were impeccable. She wondered about his past but didn't press him for answers. As Alex continued his visits, Jewel's friends grew increasingly vocal about their disapproval. "Jewel, you're wasting your time with that beggar," Chloe said one afternoon, flipping her sleek brown hair. "Do you think he'll ever repay you? He probably doesn't even remember your name." Jewel frowned but didn't respond. Her patience with her friends' taunts was wearing thin. Lisa leaned in, smirking. "Unless you're in love with him. Is that it? Are you falling for a beggar?" Jewel's face turned crimson. "Don't be ridiculous," she snapped, though the accusation struck a nerve. After her friends left, Alex approached her. "Are they always like that?" he asked gently. Jewel sighed. "They mean well, but they don't understand." Alex's heart ached for her. He hated seeing her defend him against people who should have supported her, but it also strengthened his resolve. One day, he thought, they would see how wrong they were about her. One stormy evening, Jewel sat at her stall, worried. Alex hadn't shown up that day, and she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. "Maybe he finally found someone else to bother," Lisa said as she passed by. Jewel ignored her, her heart heavy with concern. She didn't understand why she felt so strongly about Alex's absence, but the truth was clear, she cared for him deeply. The next morning, Alex returned, drenched from the rain but smiling. "Where were you?" Jewel blurted out before she could stop herself. Alex chuckled softly. "I had some things to take care of. I'm sorry if I worried you." Jewel felt a strange mix of relief and embarrassment. "I wasn't worried," she lied, handing him a dry towel. But Alex saw through her. Her concern warmed his heart, and he began to realize just how much she meant to him. One sunny afternoon, Alex decided it was time. He could no longer keep his true identity from Jewel. He returned to her stall, dressed not in rags but in a tailored suit, his royal insignia gleaming on his chest. When Jewel saw him, she froze, her eyes wide with shock. "Alex," she whispered. "Yes," he said, stepping closer. "I haven't been entirely honest with you. I'm not a beggar. My name is Alex Windsor, and I'm the crown prince of this kingdom." Jewel stared at him, her mind racing. "But why? Why did you pretend to be someone else?" Alex took her hands in his. "Because I wanted to find someone who loved me for me, not for my title or wealth. And you showed me a kindness I've never known." "Jewel, you're the kind of person I've been searching for my entire life." Tears filled Jewel's eyes as she tried to process his words. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll marry me," Alex said, dropping to one knee. Jewel gasped as he pulled out a ring, a simple yet elegant band that symbolized everything he admired about her. "Yes," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I'll marry you." The news of Jewel's engagement to Prince Alex spread like wildfire through the city. The same people who had mocked her generosity now gossiped about her good fortune. Jewel, however, found herself caught between joy and disbelief. Lisa and Chloe arrived at her home that evening, their expressions a mixture of shock and envy. "Jewel," Lisa said, her voice trembling. "Is it true? You're engaged to the crown prince?" Jewel nodded, her cheeks flushed. "Yes, it's true." Chloe scoffed, crossing her arms. "How's that possible? He was just a beggar." Jewel looked at her friends, her gaze steady. "He was never a beggar. He was testing me to see if I cared about him for who he truly is, not for his wealth or title." Lisa's face turned pale. "So all those times we teased you?" Jewel smiled faintly. "You were wrong about him, and about me." The truth stung Lisa and Chloe, but they couldn't deny their admiration for Jewel's unwavering kindness and patience. As Jewel adjusted to her new life, she was introduced to the grandeur of the royal palace. Queen Margaret and King Henry welcomed her warmly, though the Queen seemed skeptical at first. "Are you sure about her, Alex?" the Queen asked one evening as they dined. "She comes from humble beginnings. Life as a royal is not easy." Alex smiled, his confidence unwavering. "Unwavering? That's exactly why she's perfect, Mother. She knows the value of hard work and kindness, qualities that are rare in our world." Jewel, meanwhile, underwent lessons in etiquette, royal traditions, and the responsibilities of being a princess. Though the process was daunting, she tackled it with determination. One afternoon, her etiquette instructor, Lady Eleanor, corrected her posture for the third time. "Princess Jewel," Lady Eleanor said with a sigh, "you must carry yourself with grace at all times." Jewel straightened her back, suppressing a groan. "I'll get it right, I promise." Alex watched from the doorway, a proud smile on his face. "You're doing great," he said, giving her a reassuring wink. The palace issued an official announcement of the royal engagement, and preparations for the grand wedding began. Jewel's mother, Claire, was overwhelmed with emotion when she received the news. "My daughter, the princess," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Your father would be so proud." Jewel hugged her mother tightly. "This is all because of you, Mom. You taught me to be strong and kind, even when life was hard." As the wedding day approached, Jewel's life became a whirlwind of fittings, rehearsals, and meetings with dignitaries. Despite the chaos, Alex made sure to spend time with her, reminding her of their love and shared dreams. The day of the wedding dawned bright and clear. The palace courtyard was transformed into a breathtaking venue adorned with flowers, golden arches, and banners bearing the royal crest. Guests from all over the kingdom arrived, dressed in their finest attire. Jewel stood in her chamber, her gown shimmering in the sunlight. Her heart raced as the royal stylist added the finishing touches to her hair. "You look stunning," Claire said, her voice trembling with pride. When the palace doors opened, Jewel stepped onto the aisle, her arm linked with her mother's. Gasps filled the air as the guests beheld her radiant beauty. Alex stood at the altar, his eyes locked on hers. He had never been more certain of anything in his life. As they exchanged vows, the world seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them. "I promise to love and cherish you," Alex said, his voice steady and filled with emotion. "And I promise to stand by your side through every joy and challenge," Jewel replied, tears glistening in her eyes. When the ceremony concluded, the crowd erupted into cheers. Jewel and Alex were now husband and wife, a union born of kindness and trust. Lisa and Chloe attended the wedding, their jaws practically hitting the floor as they watched Jewel ascend to her new life. "I can't believe it," Lisa muttered. "She's really a princess." Chloe sighed, her voice tinged with regret. "We underestimated her. She's better than we ever gave her credit for." After the ceremony, Jewel approached them, her smile warm but her words firm. I hope you've learned something from this, she said. Kindness and faith in people go a long way. Lisa and Chloe nodded, humbled. Married life brought new challenges, but Jewel and Alex faced them together. Jewel worked to balance her royal duties with her desire to help the less fortunate. She started initiatives to support small businesses, inspired by her own experience as a fruit vendor. Alex, too, found new purpose in their partnership. He admired Jewel's ability to connect with people and bring positive change to the kingdom. Years later, Alex and Jewel stood on the same balcony where Alex had once dreamed of finding true love. Now, he looked at Jewel and their young daughter, Isabella, playing in the garden below. Do you regret your decision to marry a fruit seller? Jewel teased, leaning against him. Not for a moment, Alex replied, wrapping an arm around her. You've made my life richer than any crown ever could. As the sun set over the kingdom, their laughter filled the air, a testament to the power of love, kindness, and the courage to defy expectations. Hi, besties. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed this story, we invite you to give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support motivates us to keep bringing heartwarming stories almost every day. We are very grateful for your support. See you soon.